Hi again, it's me, Sean Blackwell. And as many of you know, I've learned a lot over the years and I've put my experience in working with people in non ordinary states into my new book, Bipolar Awakenings. But with this course, it's not just about teaching you guys information. I'm really after a total cultural change. I want our society to start looking at what you're going through with completely different eyes. And for that, I think we need a little bit of inspiration. And so, my inspiration for this course is this guy right here. Do any of you know this guy? This is the Pittsburgh Steelers jersey of former Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw. There's got to be a few people out there who know Terry Bradshaw, right? Hang on, let me put on the jersey. All right, that's better. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, Sean, really inspiration from an NFL quarterback? But here's the thing for some football fans out there, I got a question for you. How many playoff games did the Pittsburgh Steelers win between the year they were founded in 1933 and the year Terry Bradshaw joined their team, 1970? Want to take a guess? How many playoff games did they win during that period? The answer was the Pittsburgh Steelers, in almost 40 years, never won a playoff game. Can you believe it? They went to the playoffs just 1 year in 1947, and the rest of the time they lost, and they lost that playoff game as well. Then in 1970, Terry Bradshaw joined the team. He was drafted, a number one pick, and within a few years, they had accumulated a lot of guys who would go on to be Hall of Fame players. Okay, so everything came together for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they created this NFL dynasty, winning 4 Super Bowls during the 1970s. An amazing team. They were my favorite team. I also played for a local team called the Steelers, so they're a little bit close to my heart, which is kind of cool, right? Okay, so the Steelers were losers. They went on to be winners. What's the big deal? Here's the big deal. How many times have the Pittsburgh Steelers gone on to the playoffs since Terry Bradshaw joined the team? Well, the number is 34 times. They've been to the playoffs 34 years since Terry Bradshaw joined the team and won 2 more Super Bowls. So think about it. We're talking about a team that had never won the playoffs. And then after one player joins them and a bunch of other Hall of Fame players do, and they have a few winning seasons, there's a total cultural turnaround, and they go to the playoffs more than any other team in the NFL and actually also hold the record with the New England Patriots for the most Super Bowl wins. So if you went to the Pittsburgh Steelers before Terry Bradshaw, you were expecting to lose. It was a losing franchise, and you were going to lose. If you joined them after Terry Bradshaw, you were expecting to win no matter who you were playing with, long after all the Hall of Fame players had retired. And so it's that total cultural change that really fascinates me because I know that if you've got bipolar disorder, chances are you've had a bit of a tough go. You've lost relationships, you've lost jobs, you've got symptoms from medication, you might be living with your parents into your 40s or 50s. But in the words of a friend of mine, Josh Roberts, you've also got some gifts. You might call them spiritual or emotional sensitivities, you might say, psychic sensitivities. You know more about that other dimension of life than most people on the planet, right? The only trouble is that you're not in a position to use those gifts. Part of it is we don't have a society that's ready for that right now. But the other part of it is in the peer support movement today, we don't have enough of a healing culture. And even when it is talked about in the peer support movement, it's not talked about in the way that I'm talking about, like deep somatic healing, buried trauma, birth trauma, bringing up material that is, sometimes unspeakably painful. And so if I'm Terry Bradshaw and I've got my team of people with bipolar disorder in the huddle with me, my one mantra for them is, okay, let's go. Let's start healing. Let's heal. Let's heal. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We can do this thing. All right. We need a change of energy, total cultural change. We need to believe in this process. Now, this vision of mine I've already seen happen once because my second client, Monica Kettler, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and medicated for life. And now she's working as an alternative therapist in Germany. And I refer clients to her all the time, people living in Europe who can't make it to Brazil or where I think she might be a better fit for them than I would be. I refer clients to her. So it's not like a fantasy land thing that I'm talking about. It can really happen. All right. So I hope you're signed up for the course. I hope this little conversation I've got has inspired you a little bit. And if I were Terry Bradshaw, like I said, I'd be like, healing, healing, healing. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, let's go. All right. See you there.